What is going on, and welcome to my channel. So today I'm doing something a little bit different. As you're going to see, this is more of a screen recording than my normal kind of sit down talking head type video. And I'm going to be going over the rental markets of New Hampshire in the counties that I personally cover as a real estate agent and know the best, and kind of just give a little bit of knowledge for people who have reached out and people who do reach out asking about New Hampshire rental markets. So I figured this would be a good resource to put out there for people who are looking to invest in New Hampshire and just don't have a clue, or maybe never been, so they just want to get a little bit of information on what the actual places they should be looking at and what the rental areas are like. So I hope you enjoy. And my name's Shane Moynihan. I'm a real estate agent and investor based out of Keene, New Hampshire. And if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest around the area, feel free to reach out. And if you want to follow more of my day-to-day stuff, feel free to give my Instagram a follow. I post there every day, some short form content, some stories, all that good stuff. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. It's a little bit different. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. I'd be more than happy to hear, good or bad, and see how I can improve from there. So I hope you enjoy. What is going on? So today I'm going to be going actually over some screen recordings here on my laptop and kind of showing you what counties and parts of New Hampshire I personally cover, and go over the certain counties that I do cover and a little bit about their rental markets and actually what they bring in for rents / what the prices for the properties are in those given counties. So I'm going to be kind of just going over, as you can see if follow my mouse, I'm going to be going over everything down south of this. So I'm located over here in Keene, New Hampshire. I grew up in Hillsborough County, and I know a decent amount of Merrimack, Sullivan, and some of Rockingham, but again, this is getting pretty far away from me, so I'm not an expert over this way. I do know some basic things about it, but if you were to reach out to me, I'd probably refer you to a sales agent I know that does great out that way, just because he has more experience and expertise out that way, because that's the county he works in. So I really cover truly these four: Sullivan, Merrimack, Cheshire, and Hillsborough. Rockingham, again, I do extend into. Main reason is just because of how it kind of like jets in here. So like, I would, if it was a straight line, I probably would just cut it off right around here. But since it's not, sometimes I do technically go into Rockingham County. But, so a little bit, as you can see, these three, Rockingham, Hillsborough, and Cheshire, all border Massachusetts. During COVID, a lot of Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, all these other parts of New England came up to New Hampshire to work and live because of a lot of it was just saving on taxes. We don't have any sales tax and no state income tax. So once everyone was working remotely, they said, why am I still in these states that are causing me such high taxes? Let's get out of there. So that's exactly what they tried to do, and they moved up here. I'll kind of, I guess, connect those points in a little bit later on how you could see the sales increased around these areas. Over here on this left side is, of course, Vermont. So I am pretty close to Vermont, and so is in Sullivan County. And then over this way is actually Maine. So this is nice and close to Maine. Over here, of course, you've got the sea coast, and mainly, except for the little part in Stratford County, all of New Hampshire's sea line, or coastline, I should say. We don't have a ton of coastline. I believe it's 17 miles, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that. Could be wrong, but I believe it's 17 miles. Hillsborough is one of the most populated, actually is the most populated county because it has Manchester and Nashua. Concord is, I think, our third biggest city, or close to it, because one, it's the capital, and two, it's definitely the bigger city in Merrimack. Keene, of course, is a bigger one in Cheshire, where I am located. But like Manchester has over 100,000 people. Keene has, I think, right around 36,000. So it's quite large discrepancy from one to the other. And then over here in Rockingham, you got Brentwood is what they say, but there's, I don't know why that's the one, but there's like Hampton, there's Exeter, there's a bunch of other. They're not like any like big cities like Manchester, but they are some over here. And I believe Portsmouth is technically in this one. It's right around this area. I don't know why. I'm kind of surprised not on here because that's kind of the bigger city over that way. But I believe Portsmouth is technically in Rockingham County. So, as you can see, I have all these tabs opened up. I'm going to go through one by one, going over kind of the rental stats for it. And then after that, I'll show you the median sales price for the past year on small multifamilies in those given counties. So, let's start out with over here, I guess. We'll go Rockingham. Again, this is one I'm not a complete expert in, but I'm going to give you kind of a quick little breakdown. Luckily, I found this Rent Cafe site, and they actually had some decent stats that seem pretty accurate for the bigger parts of New Hampshire. As you can see, we'll go through the tabs. The information gets less and less because, again, New Hampshire is just such a small population state that it's hard to find sites like these where you could go to something like Dallas, Texas, and it's going to give you a plethora of knowledge. But on here, it's kind of limited because we just don't have as many people. But as you can see, Rockingham County is almost $2,000 a month for rent. That's about the average. Over here, you can see that there's barely anything if you're looking around 1,000 to 1,500. A lot of it is going to be either 1,500 or 2,000 or 2,000 plus. As you can see, this has been over the past 3 years from 2020 to 2023. And it has went from a median of around just under 1,600 to just under 2,000, which is crazy. New Hampshire's you're going to need a car if you're in New Hampshire. If you're looking from out of state and not sure about that, you might be able to get away with it if you're in one of the big cities, but most time you're probably going to have to get a car. Here you can see Rockingham County, 300,000 people, median age 46, and it's actually pretty cool how it breaks this stuff down. So it shows you family, non-family, children, no children, average person per household, number of households, and median income. So as you can see, 109,000. I believe this is probably the second highest. I think Hillsborough County's higher, or this might be the highest. But from here, it kind of goes down for New Hampshire just because of kind of the affordability of it. The pay is not super high compared to other places in the country. So next we will go over here to Hillsborough County. So as you can see, population 420,000. This is where it kind of jumps up because, again, this has Manchester and Nashua in it, two of the biggest cities in New Hampshire. As you can see, again, this is pretty similar, right under $2,000 a month. Vacancy in New Hampshire is crazy. I think it's been under 5% for the past couple of years. Of course, COVID has helped with that. And again, a lot of people moving from out of state to New Hampshire has also helped with that. Helped or hurt, depends on how you look at it, I suppose. Again, right here, you're looking at anything under 1,500. Good luck, you're probably not going to find anything. And then again, this went actually a little bit lower than 1,500. I don't know why. I should show you what it was there. And then up to almost 2,000, and down here again, crazy how like even that is female, male. And then we got family, non-family, children, no children. So this median household income is actually about $20,000 less. Number of households 165, and it does a pretty good job of showing all the breakdowns. Now, as we go over a little bit more, this is Cheshire County. So what I have done, I went from Rockingham to Hillsborough, Cheshire. So we're at Cheshire now. This is where I currently live. And as you can see, 77,000. So the population kind of plummeted compared to the other two. Not nearly as many people in here. Again, household income drops a little bit. Number of households drops a lot. And just the population is a lot smaller over here is because it's just less densely populated. You don't have those two huge cities. And again, this like doesn't even show you your average rent price because there's just not as much stuff to pull from. So as someone who owns and operates their rentals out of Cheshire County, I can tell you that the average rent rate right now for about a 2-bedroom, you're looking at anywhere from $1,500 to $1,800, depending on what it includes. Anything above a 2-bedroom is going to probably be above $1,700, if not more. It also depends because I'm just going to call people out. Like a lot of landlords in New Hampshire, especially around like these lesser populated places, they don't really update their units all that much. So they might have a 3-bedroom renting for $1,600, but if you actually put a little bit into it, updated it so it's actually attractive, you could probably get closer to $2,000. But You are where you are, and you kind of have what you have. So there are some stuff still below like 1,400 if you're looking at a one bedroom. Again, it's just hard to actually find them. And then over here, we're going to go to Sullivan County. And this one gets even smaller. So now we're moving up a little bit, less densely populated. Newport, I think, is about 10,000 people less than Keene, if I remember correctly. But even like the whole county population goes from 77,000 to 44,000. So it drops even less, 75. So you're right around the same median household income. And number of households does go down to 17,000 from 30,000. So you're definitely in a lot less, doesn't actually have that many houses. Again, car dependent. And this one does not have your rental rates. This is pretty similar to Cheshire County in the fact of rental prices. I will say the high end is not as much. So for a 2-bedroom, your high end instead of 1,800, your high end is probably 1,600. So you just have to be like a little bit more aware of kind of who you're putting it out there for. Of course, it depends on like the jobs. In Keene, there's a lot of like manufacturing jobs, a lot of stores. Of course, in the bigger populated places like Hillsborough, like Rockingham, Hillsborough is really New Hampshire's strongest market, I believe, just because of how much population there is and the access to mass. Like Nashua, it looks a little further, but like Nashua, you're like 5 minutes from mass. So it just like opens everything up. And the last one we're going to go over is Merrimack County. Now this one picks up a little bit more, again, because you have Concord, the state capital. I believe Concord's right around 100,000 people. Population for the whole county is 156. Household income goes up again to about 85,000. Number of households rises again up to about 60,000. I'm not sure if this one has the rent prices. See what this says. No, it does not. This is about the same, maybe a little bit more than Cheshire County. You're going to probably be kind of closer to what you would get around Manchester. Again, it just depends. I mean, if you're in Concord, you're going to get rates closer to Manchester. If you're out here a little bit in the boonies where there's not as much city, you're not going to get as much. So it's just kind of like knowing your actual spots. And for a lot of people who watch my channel, some of them are out-of-state investors or new to investing and they have no clue. So the biggest things I kind of stick to while referring them and like teaching them a little bit about the market is Rockingham's going to be your most expensive market with good rental rates. Hillsborough is going to be an expensive market, great rental rates, great demand. Lots of competition though. A lot of people are buying in Hillsborough. Cheshire, you're going to get a lot of demand, not as high of rental rates as these two places, but your purchase price is way lower and the demand's not super low, but it's lower than Hillsborough. Sullivan, there's really not a ton of demand. Sorry about that. There's not a ton of demand. And this one, I feel like might be an up and coming area. I don't want to like put that on paper, but it's one that I've been watching is Newport. And there's a town right over here, right on the Vermont border called Claremont. Both super low purchase price, even lower than Keene. About the same rents like I mentioned, but it's just not as developed, I don't think. Then Merrimack, again, you got Concord, which is your biggest one, and then the surrounding cities around Concord. So now I'm just going to jump into what I created, a little chart, just going over the median. What did I just do? Going over the median sales price for small multifamilies. So as you can see, these are just for 2 to 4 units in the past 12 months. And I just did a quick MLS search looking up the ones that have sold. This doesn't include the ones that are pending or the ones that are active on the market. So as you can see, I started in Cheshire where I live. The median price or median sales price was $286,000. And there was a total of 44 units sold in the past 12 months. Sullivan, you're at $222,500 with only 30. So like I said, not as much demand, but the lowest purchase price you're going to probably see. Then you got Merrimack County, biggest one in there is Concord again. You're up way higher than way higher than Cheshire at 377,450 with 82 units sold. So almost double what Cheshire is. And then Hillsborough, like I said, this is our main boy here in New Hampshire. 450 is your median sales price. 313 units moved in the last 12 months compared to all these other places. This is our hottest market, and I believe it was one of the hottest markets, or one of the cities in Hillsborough County was one of the hottest markets in the country during COVID because so many people were moving there. And then the last one is Rockingham, again, towards the seacoast. Highest purchase price you're going to find. It's expensive out there. Your rents are pretty similar to Hillsborough. You can get a little bit higher, especially if you're in a great location right on the coast, of course. And 91 units sold. But like I said, 313. Hillsborough is by far like the most in demand, one of the strongest rental markets in New Hampshire. But again, 313. There's just so much moving and so many people that want to buy in that. And this was a big reason so many sold was because when COVID hit, so many people went to Hillsborough County. So many people went to Hillsborough County because they wanted to get out of Massachusetts and stuff, but they still wanted city life. So they found Manchester was probably going to be their best bet. So that's why they moved there. So I kind of hope, I know this is like a little bit vague, but I didn't want to go like too into specifics on anything in particular. I just want to give you kind of the overview of New Hampshire's market that I personally cover. I'll give you a quick up here: Coos County, Grafton, Carroll, and Belknap. I've never really known how to say that. I don't know why it's such a weird one. But these ones, are going to find some expensive housing because you have Lake Winnipesaukee. Same here, you have the other side. The higher and higher you go, the less population you're going to see. Up here, you're bordering Canada. There's not much except hunting and just people having fun up there. Plymouth is a decently strong market just because there's a big college, Plymouth State University, in there. Of course, over in Keene, you got Keene State. You got a bunch of colleges around here. Same with here and in Concord. So again, I hope this kind of... Oh, I forgot to mention Stratford. But Stratford's also a nice little strong one. Again, bordering Maine. Just kind of depends who you're going for. Because some of these ones you can get bordering people who maybe live over here, work over here. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of hope this just gives a little perspective of what to look for and what markets you could go after if you're looking into New Hampshire. Again, I think the lower half of New Hampshire is probably the best for out-of-state people. If you're looking at vacation rentals, it doesn't hurt looking into Lake Winnipesaukee, of course, around the lakes. It's the biggest lake in New Hampshire, but the prices reflect that. That's for sure. So I just kind of want to keep this vague because I wanted to show you the overall of what I cover. Again, Sullivan County, Merrimack County, Hillsborough County, and Cheshire County are my main four. I do go a little bit into Rockingham, and everything else I kind of refer to people I know around the area because I'm born and raised in New Hampshire, so I have connections all over for great real estate agents. But I just keep to what I know and what I know is good because that's what I figure. You pay me for my profession, not just guessing. So this is kind of what I came up with. I hope it added some value to you. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And again, my name's Shane Moynihan. I'm a real estate agent and investor based out of Keene, New Hampshire. So if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest around the area, feel free to hit me up. And if you're looking to follow more day-to-day stuff, feel free to follow me on my Instagram. I post there every day. And I'll catch you next week. I just hope before you go, I hope this one it's a little bit different. I've never really done kind of a screen recording type thing like this, but hope you enjoyed it. And I'll catch you next week.